low budget review show. I'm your host, Eric Smith, and today I'm talking about Chasing Ghosts by Glenn Rolfe. This is from Sinister Grin Press, and it's a story that takes place in Naples, Maine, and it's sort of about the Cobbs. They're a family of sort of backwoods people, um, but it's also about all these other people. We start out with these three kids basically: Luke, Jason, and Davy, and they're going off to do what they call chasing ghosts. And in town, there's this old legend about the Cobbs, who have always been sort of this crazy family, and they were all killed off. So Luke, Jason, and Davy go to the old haunted Cobb house, and the shit hits the fan. Right off the bat, man, things get crazy. So we meet these characters, and then we meet Ian, Connor, and Jack. They're this punk band that's going to play at this rented cabin that's in the woods in Naples, Maine. And we meet some of the parents and the sheriff, and everything's going to all kind of come together into this balls to the wall kind of story. Right off the bat, I'm going to say Chasing Ghosts is kind of a deceptive title. It makes it seem, to me anyway, if I hear that title, I'm thinking, okay, this is a ghost story of some sort. Definitely not a ghost story. It's a very quick read. It's only 140 pages. It's a very thin book. It's just a novella, essentially. And this is straight up vicious, violent horror. Not that I have a problem with this title, and there is a reason for it, but if all I knew was this title, I would think it was something completely different. So I'm telling you right now, this is, if I was going to compare it to a movie, I would compare it to something like Wrong Turn or Texas Chainsaw Massacre, or The Hills Have Eyes. It is a very, very over-the-top, violent story, which isn't to say it's a bad story. I like a good, violent, over-the-top story. The main problem I have is, frankly, I think it's a little too short. I would have liked some more character development. Now, the characters do have personalities. There's a little bit of development, but personally, I would have liked more interactions between the characters. There's a lot of things going on between the characters. You've got a guy that's been cheating on his wife, and then his best friend who is consoling the wife, and you've got the waitress that the guy was cheating with, and like I said, you've got the police chief, and you've got this punk band, and you've got these people at this cabin where this party's being thrown, where the punk band is supposed to play. And they all have distinct personalities, because Glenn writes very good characters. I just wanted more, which isn't, I mean, that's a good thing, I suppose. I'm just disappointed that I didn't get what I wanted, I guess. But I really would have liked to have seen more interaction between the characters, more development of these relationships between the characters. But that aside, like I said, this is a really balls to the wall story. It gets moving right at the beginning with the kids, with Luke, Jason, and Davy, and then we meet these other characters, and Ian, Connor, and Jack. They go out to this cabin to play, and they get caught up in these horrible events because one of them, I don't remember which one, kind of wanders off while they're waiting to play, wanders off into the woods, and really bad things happen to him. So his bandmates go out looking for him, and then just people start to disappear, horrible things start to happen, other people go looking for them, and more horrible things happen. And it's very bloody, very violent, but it's very entertaining. Really, if you like movies like Wrong Turn or Texas Chainsaw Massacre or The Hills Have Eyes or anything in that sort of movie Club, those types of movies, I think you're going to enjoy Chasing Ghosts. Um, Super entertaining, super fast. It's and Glenn writes his writing, as always, is good. His characters, like I said, they're not bad characters, not poorly written characters. I just wanted more. I really think this book could have been twice as long. Um, maybe Glenn thought it worked best as a novella. I don't know, and it does work. Again, entertaining, a good read. I suppose that's a sign of how much I enjoyed it, is that I wanted more. Um, I really would have liked more character development or character interaction, I suppose. The setting isn't it's of one of those small. We really don't even see much of the town. So much of it takes place in the woods surrounding the town, and it seems like the few other locations, are sort of separate. Um, the kids, their houses, whenever we're at their houses or meet their parents, don't seem to be. It's not like a nice suburban neighborhood. Um, and I think the closest we get to the town is there's some stuff at the police station. Well, in the bar, but I picture the bar as being one of those roadside, kind of nothing around it kind of bars. I could be wrong in that, but that's just the impression that I got from it. Maybe that's just what I think of when there's a sort of a dive bar in a horror novel, is that it's gravel parking lot out in the middle of, there's no other businesses or anything close by. Um, so I as much as I enjoyed this, I wanted more. Um, so all of that being said, and maybe that's a bad reason for giving it the rating I did. It's not the greatest pictures here, but I give Chasing Ghosts, and there's really not much color contrast there, but that's supposed to be 3.5 bloody copper pipes. 3.5 bloody copper pipes out of 5. Maybe you can see a little color contrast there. And as always, there's a reason for that. And I went 3.5 out of 5 simply because I think there could have been more. I wanted more. Maybe the author didn't feel that way, but I disagree. I know he's capable of it. um, and that's again, it's a good sign that I wanted more. If I was to say, I'm glad this was only 140 pages because that's all that could be sustained, that would be different. But I really think there could have been more character interaction, because they're characters I wanted to get to know better. So, yeah, people in the woods with horrible things happening to them. Um, and it does involve the legend of the Cobbs, and it is very much falls into that Wrong Turn, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Hills Have Eyes kind of thing. I like the ending. Um, it is a little open, so there could be more, I suppose. Or it could be, since again, has the feeling of those movies, perhaps Glenn chose to give it an ending that's similar to those movies. You know how a lot of those horror movies give you that sort of open ending, whether or not there's ever going to be a sequel. You quite often get that sort of open ending. And I feel that that's what we get here. If this was an homage, it worked perfectly. Um, I could easily see this on the screen. This would make a great movie of that sort. Um, so that's Chasing Ghosts by Glenn Rolfe from Sinister Grin Press. I'll have links, 1 or 2 links for it, as always, in the description below. If you have any comments, questions, or corrections, please put them in the comments below. Comments are open for spoilers. Just post a spoiler warning so we can be polite here. We live in a polite society, right? I like to think so. Um, so if you want to know more, I know I sometimes am very vague because I don't want to give anything away to the people that are going to read this. So if you want to know more, just ask me in the comments and I'll tell you. Just remember, it's a fast-paced, violent, bloody book with interesting characters. And I mean, what else do you need to know, really? There's a lot of death and violence and mayhem. What more could you ask for? So, comments. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I guess that's it for this episode of the Low Budget Review Show. I'm your host, Eric Smith. And until next time, read more books.